Hello, good morning. Welcome to Gaming Insight Daily for Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your sometimes daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I have iced coffee from McDonald's today. It's iced caramel coffee, so it's got a little bit of sweetness. Still not necessarily a fan of sweet coffee, but I always do enjoy a little bit of it from time to time. All right, so today, instead of some gaming news, I wanted to be able to talk about a game for review that I've been playing for a minute. I know it's been out for a while, but I did just want to be able to do an accessibility impressions or accessibility review of this particular version, because this is something that I've actually been really excited to be able to try out and play. And so I'm going to talk about that today. I've got a few games that are kind of on the go for review that I will be talking about soon. And one of them being Ghost of Yotei. So if you want to be able to know what the accessibility is like in Ghost of Yotei, make sure to tune in to this channel and subscribe to this channel, because it'll be coming out on September 25th. So stay tuned for that. That's all I can talk about at the moment. All right, let's talk today's video, which is all about Star Wars Outlaws for the Nintendo Switch, specifically the Nintendo Switch 2. I have been wanting to be able to play this on the Switch 2 for a little bit, since they announced it a while ago. I still say to this day, I actually think Star Wars Outlaws is a very underrated game. It is, like, I think those who reviewed it and kind of reviewed it as sort of like it's an okay game, unfortunately had to speed through it in order to be able to get the review done. But I feel like it is probably one of the better Star Wars games that we've had in a long time. I really enjoyed the world. I think the world that that Ubisoft and Massive created, it pretty much like encapsulates all of Star Wars. Plus, you get to basically play out the the whole, like, the part of the Star Wars story with the syndicates, and with the Hutt Syndicate and Pikes and the Crimson Dawn, and you get to play as a brand new character. Now, I'm not saying this just because I got to like work on it, because yes, I did. I was the voice, or the English voice, of Jabba the Hutt for the audio description version. So you may think I may be a little bit biased in saying this, but I do think that this is a really great game. I really do recommend it, whether you buy this on the Switch 2 or on just any other platform that it's available on. But I will say this in regards to accessibility: it is also one of the few accessible games out there. And actually, like, fully accessible games. Ubisoft has always been great about making their games as accessible as possible, and they've really been able to kind of really take a lot of features and tools that they use in other games and kind of combine them all together and really create a great suite of tools to be able to make their games as accessible as possible. And I will say, this actually, if I probably could go on record in saying, I probably would be really good and confident in saying this. This is probably the most accessible game on the Switch 2. Yes, you heard me correctly. This probably might be the most accessible game on the Switch 2, namely because of a lot of things that were carried over from the original game onto the Switch 2. I was very surprised about what they were able to offer, because famously, well, not famously, but unfortunately for me, I have whenever I play Switch games and that are being ported over, I hope that there's some that the accessibility that's in the original game gets ported over, but sometimes it doesn't. A good example, or not a great example, but an example nonetheless, is Pentiment from Obsidian. They released the game initially with a screen reader support, but when they released it for the Switch, unfortunately, it did not have screen reader support. But I'll confidently say that in Star Wars Outlaws, this definitely has screen reader support. It has not only screen reader support, it has the audio narrations for their cinematics, which is great because I haven't got to the point where I can hear my voice on the Switch 2 just yet, but I am looking forward to be able to getting to that point. But it has audio narration, it has screen reader support, it has high contrast mode, it has all the subtitle and caption settings that Ubisoft has been famous for. It has all the remapping that you need, and including some special handheld accessibility for the Switch that is specifically for the Switch 2, or at least maybe in a potential Steam Deck update. And you can actually be able to tell this by looking at the settings. I'm trying to be able to get to here we go. Here's the settings menu. You can see that there's actually the accessibility presets has been carried over. So everything from gameplay to cognitive to color blindness to vision to hearing, all of that is in here. But there is a brand new handheld preset that I will show you. It's mostly just the same kind of accessibility it's been in other presets, but they're specifically kind of updated, or at least a little bit kind of tweaked a little bit to be able to work within handheld mode. First off is the handheld. You can turn on the handheld preset. You can turn on cinematic display mode from fill the screen to base. You can also set it to the cinematic is it 20? I think they're going to show it here, 21:9. You can't see it here just in a minute, but basically it allows you to kind of put black bars on the top and bottom of the screen and kind of make it a little bit more cinematic. One of another option that they kind of carried over from different other settings is you can change the HUD icon size for the handheld, which basically you can increase the size to about 150%. Markers are always you can set to always or sometimes, or basically kind of dynamic. Interface text size you can set from up to large, small, medium, and large. You can be able to do text size for handheld, which is kind of like for the HUD interface. That's all you can set that to large. You can change the Nix quick actions from an icon to a little dot to basically to none. And you can also change the motion sensor function, which means that yes, you can be able to use the gyroscopic capabilities of the Switch 2 to be able to aim and also be able to steer when you're on like your speeder bike or on your ship. And you can actually be able to adjust the sensitivity and the boost, the horizontal camera boost, basically kind of moves the camera around as well. So So I think that's actually kind of neat that they're able to sort of tap into that. Plus, also again, utilizing all of the accessibility that is in Star Wars Outlaws. Like, if I go through this entire like video that I have here that I'm showing on screen, it's about 7 minutes long, just going through all the different settings. Now, yes, some of them are all from different menus that are in the same presets, but it just goes to show that the fact that they have presets for accessibility is huge, and also that that they have as many accessibility options as they do. Another thing that they also carry over from the accessibility of the game, if you're wondering if you're for blind low vision, yes, you can adjust the voice, you can adjust the speed of the volume of the screen reader. So yes, and again, you can adjust the contrast, the backgrounds of all the HUD elements. Everything that is in Star Wars Outlaws on every other console that's been released on has been updated and then some in this game, and I am so happy about that. When I go to the actual gameplay, you can kind of see that how I sort of have my settings sort of set. You obviously can see that the icons and the HUD is at its largest setting. Plus, I have high contrast mode turned on, but I did not have full high contrast mode on, because full high contrast mode will have the black and white elements, or basically it'll turn the environment into black and white, and it makes everything else stand out. But I turn that off and basically just keep the high contrast of the allies, enemies, and interactables, which is great. I think I could definitely change the colors if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back in and double check, but this is being recorded. I will say this from docked mode. So if you're thinking that, oh, the quality actually looks pretty good, it is because it is in docked mode, which is basically pumping up the resolution to, I believe, 1080p, if not 4K. I'll have to double check that. But essentially, it is playing it at the highest graphic settings that it can. But even in handheld mode, it's not bad. There are definitely moments where the quality dips quite a bit, especially in some of the in-game cinematics that I felt was like, ooh, okay, I've never seen it this bad. But it's not that it's unplayable. There was one moment where the game kind of really slowed down to like extremely laggy that I had to shut down the game in order to be able to play it. But I sort of had to. But it could be that because there was a new update that was waiting for me. I didn't want to start the update because I hadn't got to the point where, this is one of my complaints about this game, is that it takes a long while for you to be able to actually go and manually save your game. It does say auto save for you, so you can, if you accidentally close or it crashes, you can go back and pick up where you left off. But I would preferred it if I could be able to like manually save a lot earlier than this, because you're basically not able to manually save until at least a couple hours in. That's right, a couple hours into this game. So that's one thing I kind of wish they were able to change, but you know, it's kind of that's just nitpicky pretty much at this point. But that's the quality again is, I think and so when I updated the game, I installed the update, everything worked fine, and I haven't had a crash ever since. And I played this section kind of like a few times over again, based on just the previews I've done of this game versus also the actual review when I reviewed this last. So if you want to check out my full review of this game when it came out, you can check out the link in the description down below. But this is more specifically just my thoughts on the Switch 2. I think this is a great game. I think this is, again, the most accessible Switch 2 game that's out there right now. And it's thanks to Ubisoft's priority in making sure that all the accessibility worked on the Switch 2. I was worried that they could have cut some stuff out. And there actually probably could be. There are definitely a lot of features in here and a lot of options that are in here, but I have not done a looking through every single option and comparing the two different versions. So if there are any options that are missing, please let me know in the comments. I would be very curious to see which ones that they weren't able to carry over. But from my understanding is that this game does have everything from the original game. I don't think that Ubisoft would have put this game out on the Switch 2 without being able to include the accessibility, all the accessibility that they have on the other versions. But then again, we've seen it happen before, where sometimes accessibility does not get ported over. But from what I understand, from just everything I've played so far, the first couple hours playing through this again, now like knowing what the game is like, so I knew what to kind of look for. I was impressed. Again, it like even some new features that I didn't even use before. The fact that you can see that I'm actually climbing up on different ledges. You don't have to try to be able to hit a button or to be able to jump from one ledge to another. It just automatically does it for you now. There's an option to be able to enable that. It's stuff like that, like little quality of life updates, and I'm like, yes, please, I love that. So I definitely think that this game is worth picking up on the Switch 2. If you're looking for accessible games to play on the Switch 2, this needs to be at the absolute top of your list. Again, as I said at the very beginning, I still recommend this game. It's a great Star Wars game. It may not be for everybody, every Star Wars fan, but honestly, I think Cave Vess is a great character. You know me, I've got Nyx back here. I've had him for quite a while, since it came out last year, and I am so happy that this game came out. I'm so happy to even have a small part in it, and I definitely would 100% recommend you picking this up, regardless of your disability. Again, I know that sounds like I'm saying that every person with a disability should pick up this game because you'll be able to play it. There's always going to be gaps in no matter what you sort of play, and what sort of disability you may have, but I am pretty confident that this game does fill a lot of the disability spectrum, as it were, and I think that you will have an amazing time playing this game. So I think that's going to kind of be where I'm going to kind of leave it today. I know it's a shorter episode than what I normally would put out, but I think if you want to be able to check out more thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws for accessibility, again, make sure to be able to check out my video that in the description down below. Also, check out my video where I talk about my experience getting to play the English voice of Jabba the Hutt. You can be able to watch that. I released that this year for Star Wars Day. I'll put that in the link in the description down below. If you have any questions or comments about the Switch 2 version of Star Wars Outlaws or just Star Wars Outlaws in general, please leave them in the description or in the comment section down below. Thanks again for watching today. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you again in the next video. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.